All right, let's talk Alabama weather headlines here. Thursday, August 21st. Got a lot to talk about here today. We are going to still have those daily afternoon thunderstorms, at least for the next couple of days, but we start to trend drier beginning Sunday. And then cooler days ahead. You know, we get to this point in the year and everyone's got a little bit of fatigue with the heat and yada, yada, yada. And I think we may have our first potential cool front to keep an eye on here in the late summer season. As always, mid to late August brings about active tropics, so lots to talk about there. Temperatures here at 3 o'clock, a mix of 80s and 90s. Where you see the 80s, we've got rain. 90s, it's been sunny for much of the day, but heat levels down a little bit, especially from yesterday. We hit 100 at Birmingham. That's 2 straight days of 98 plus, so nice to see 90 degrees. That's a little bit better. So with rain, we'll start with the Birmingham radar. And thunderstorms have been in parts of Etowah County for the most part, now shifting into northern St. Clair and Calhoun counties. We'll see if these can drift down and make it to I-20 here over the next couple of hours. Otherwise, pretty isolated here. We'll zoom in to the western side of the state. From Jasper over to Fayette, very isolated, small stature thunderstorms. Another one right down there over Utah. And again, these are moving from north to south. Over here on the eastern side of the state, this is where the heaviest rain has been. You see that one thunderstorm that's over there near Irondale, just north of Inverness area. And besides that, over Cleburne County, Calhoun, northern St. Clair counties where the heaviest rain is. And then in the southern half of the state, the Wiregrass, all of this has stayed confined to south of I-65 from Troy down to Geneva and Slocum, Andalusia south towards Milton, Atmore, down towards the Florida state line, Houston County, Dothan, currently in the clear. So big picture here, again, got this stalled boundary in place, led to some decent rain yesterday. Not seeing quite the coverage here today, but we'll keep an eye on it here as we head through the afternoon. Rain chances, though, heading into the weekend are going to become a little bit imbalanced here, meaning the highest rain probabilities are going to be in the eastern and southeastern part of the state. You can see that depicted here by the NDFD data. This isn't exact, but this gives an idea of trends. And our best rain chances will continue to be southeast. If here you look at Saturday as well, we're going to have rain on the state both days heading into the weekend. But the rain is going to be higher so the further south, the further east you go in Alabama. It is Friday tomorrow. A lot of schools kicking off their very first football games. So let's talk about our future view. You're dry in the morning and early afternoon. As we roll into the peak heating of the day, though, 2 o'clock, we're going to start to see these scattered thunderstorms. And again, they're going to be focused, I think, in East Alabama, but everywhere's got the potential for rain. I feel pretty good about the Shoals, the Tennessee Valley area, being the drier parts of the state, whereas if you get closer to that I-85 corridor in south, I-65 corridor in east, that's where our best rain chances are going to be tomorrow afternoon. We'll see these gradually fizzling out through the evening hours, but again, we will have to contend with this for some of those football games. So with that in mind, let's go to 6 o'clock on Friday, our Friday night football forecast, first one of the 2025 season. This is at 6 o'clock, so a lot of pre-games taking place here. Notice where the rain is. You got a thunderstorm or two in Shelby, Jefferson counties. A lot of rain as you head down I-65 from Montgomery to Monroeville, and then across the Wiregrass, scattered thunderstorms as well. And as we progress through the evening, again, by 8 o'clock, we're still going to see the rain, especially in southeast Alabama, tapering across central and northern Alabama as temperatures fall through the 80s and into the 70s. So rain could play a role, especially in the Wiregrass region. Keep an eye on the radars tomorrow. Speaking of tomorrow, highs anywhere from the upper 80s to low 90s, so heat levels already coming down on the next couple of days. Saturday, same deal, a lot of 80s across the state, and this is going to be a continuing theme. So I want to go to Monday. And again, we're going to see a cool front push through here. Still very hot to the west, but, we're talking 60s by Tuesday morning in much of the state. And that'll be a really nice change of pace. Tuesday afternoon, you're going to see some anomalies here with the GFS, that being with rainfall there, but I think we're in the low to mid 80s several days in central Alabama. This is Wednesday morning. How about Huntsville? Birmingham, from Huntsville down to Birmingham, we're in the 50s and low 60s. The Wiregrass, upper 60s. Southwest Alabama, upper 60s. So cooler, drier air is on the way, and when you take down those dew points this time of year, that certainly means a lot in terms of that feels like Thursday morning. Again, 50s possible across the state. This is just one model. I grabbed this because this is a little bit more of the dramatic of the two between this and the Euro. But one's hoping we can get some 50s in here next week. So that'll be the story weather-wise. Whether we hit the 50s or not, we're still going to have a frontal boundary come through, and that will really help to, silence the higher heat levels. All right, tropics, as we cool down over land this time of year, tropics tend to heat up. We are looking at a couple areas to watch here. We'll start with Aaron. This is now starting to move away from the U.S. coastline, some higher surf there, but really nothing more than that. This will race off towards the North Atlantic here and be no threat directly to anywhere on land. So the NHC's plotted a couple areas to watch over the next 7 days. Again, this is the 7-day rather than the 48-hour outlook. I just keep it simple. 70% chance of development there. But you can see when you have an outlook painted like that, that's not headed anywhere towards the eastern seaboard. When you have one that's further out to the east like that, 40%, that'll bear watching. So we'll start with that one. This is the spaghetti plot for Invest 99. And because of its lower latitude, meaning its closer proximity to the equator, we'll have to watch this one because if this enters the southern Caribbean, a trajectory like that historically gives it a better chance of an impact at getting into the Gulf. Will it get there? No idea. Most models don't place it there. A lot of them actually have this fizzling out over the southern Caribbean, but that's one that we'll have to watch closely. This one will have no impact to the United States. This will head up towards Bermuda, taking a similar track, if not a further easterly one, to Aaron, and then head off into the North Atlantic, being no threats to land. So how about our climatology this time of year? It's normal that we see wave after wave and things pick up. Here we are, August 21st. This is our mall map, and if you're looking at this, you say, okay, we're far from clear. We tend to see things really pick up as we head into September, at least for a couple weeks, and then things gradually begin to wind down. So I've been fairly fortunate as far as the United States goes and landfalling tropical systems. Again, Barry's the one big blemish with all the flooding in Texas. That was really the remnants of what once was Barry, but hopefully we see calm conditions continue. We can see all the hurricanes we want out in the Atlantic, so long as they stay away from land. So that'll do it for your Thursday update here on August 21st. Hopefully y'all have a great afternoon. See you tomorrow.